Hey guys, MoneyMan300 back for another video, and gonna finish out our wheel, talking about the wheel here, at least for now. And what I want to do is go over the settings that I used that seem to work so far the best for me, and then have a quick review and my first impressions of the wheel, and let you guys know what I think about it. So first off, there's a couple different settings. Let's talk about the physical settings on the wheel itself, because you want to set that first. So the first thing you want to do is probably use the auto clutch option on here. And I don't know if you can see my hands very well here. Why don't I make this box just a little bigger while I'm talking here so you guys can see that. We'll just make this, there you go. Make that a little bigger for a minute. Take my edit scene off. There we go. Okay, so if you hold down both the paddles up and down along with the A button at the same time, and you guys can't see it, but there's actually a light over here on this side. Right down in here, you can't see it. Hold all three of those down at the same time and that light will blink, and you'll see it actually did an A on there. Now it is, I had it set for the auto clutch option. Now it's not. So the reason that that's important is these are also your bumpers. So these act as bumpers in the layout that I'm in. So if you're trying to use the bumpers to get places and you have the auto clutch on, it's going to hit the A button also, and it's going to do a select. So you want to turn that off, and then when you're ready to race, hit all three. I should have it. Is it turned off now? Oh, not there. Now it's turned back on, since it's actually when I hit one of those, it's hitting the button. So I will back out of that. So that's the first thing. The other thing is to set your level on this one, and I don't know if this is the same on the TX, the Thrustmaster TX, or not, but you want to hit up, down, Y, and B all at the same time. It's pretty easy. It's thumbs and your fingers back here, and the light is going to blink. It's going to blink the number of times that you have the setting on. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe, are the settings. I have mine at 3. So if I hit this, now it's on 4. It just blinked 4 times. I hit it again. Now it's 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna put it back on 3, and it's doing all kinds of stuff up there. You probably want to do that without the, before you get into the game, so you're not doing a bunch of stuff there. But let me get back out of that. So anyway, so I'm back to set to 3. So that's the quick setup on the wheel. I didn't do anything else in there. So let me show you in here in Forza what your configuration is. Let's go over to your Forza profile and go over to your controller. And I did not change this. I am using layout 1, so you can see everything that's there. Your shift up, shift down. You want that because you do want the clutch on the A button. So I don't know if there are the options in here to switch that. Switch gear up, switch handbrake. Clutch is off, right? It's already on the A button by default on this setting, so you don't need to reverse that. But if you were to switch settings, I didn't really look at these other ones. So layout 2, it changes your camera switch. Oh yeah, it makes the bumpers your switch cameras. I don't even know. Is there even a... Okay, so don't use this one unless you're going to be automatic, because there is no switch, there is no shifting, no shift up, shift down. So I'm not sure you want to use that one for anything. This one, you got your handbrake and your clutch on the paddles. And so these, my guess is these are for, so this layout 2, this is if you have a shifter and you're using it. Because you don't have anything on the wheel to do that. So here we go back with the shift up and shift down, and it moves your switch camera. Now you're going to need a clutch for this one, or you're going to have to run auto. So really the best option, unless you have a shifter and you have a 3-pedal setup, you're going to want to use layout 1. So once you get that set, that's the default obviously, and then we're going to go in here and go into advanced. This is what I have. I'm at 2 and 98, so I wanted just a little bit. I actually might bump this down to 90 or 95, just so I can get to full throttle a little bit quicker and I don't have to be all the way down. So I may do that there. I have 0 and 100 on my oh, hang on, that was my steering axis, so I'm gonna leave the steering alone. So 2 and 98, I'm good with that. Actually, I was thinking about coming down to 90, so I didn't have to go, all the way to full steering lock. So maybe I could get to here, and this would be full, and it's changing it here. Put that back. So you know what I'm saying. So I don't have to go all the way out that way. I don't know if that'll really do it when you talk inside and outside. I would have to change both of them. I think this is the inside, so the inside is here and the outside is fully locked. You might want to look that up though, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So inside your inside dead zone controls how much play you have here. Your outside dead zone should control all the way on the lock. But I'm at 298, and it feels pretty good. Acceleration I did not change at all. Or I shouldn't say I didn't change at all. I went 0 and 100. Deceleration, I did the same thing, 0 and 100. And then these I did not change. So I would assume if you have a pedal, you're going to want to mess with this. I didn't need the handbrake in there. Left the vibration. You don't get any vibration feedback on this, which is one of the downfalls, or one of the one of the cons. I would say downfall, but one of the cons on that. And then your rear rotation angle, that's set. You can't really change that. Force feedback scale, there is no force feedback on this wheel. So these are the settings that worked well for me, along with 3 as my sensitivity setting on here, which is like very low or something like that. There's one more that's like minimal or ultra low or something like that that's below that. But those are all the settings that work for me. So that's the settings and what I did there. So what I want to do now is just talk a little bit about the wheel itself and my thoughts on how well it works within the game, and whether it's something that I would invest in, further. So investing more time into. First off, it's fun to drive. So it makes a completely different experience out of the game. It's a lot. I'm looking at my screen. I hope you guys could see when I was in controller here. I forgot that I had that window big still. Let me go in here and just make sure you guys could see all this. Yeah, you could see some of it. Let me just move this out of the way real quick. I forgot this was still here. So actually, let me just take the webcam off while we talk about it. So, and I'll flip through these so you can see what I was talking about with layout 1, layout 2, as I'm talking. So, it makes the experience very enjoyable. It's a totally different experience when you're using the wheel and when you're using the pedal and things like that. You got to have the right space to set it up, or if you're really going to do it right, you need a wheel stand, something you can mount your pedals to and the wheel, and be a lot more sturdy and stable than what this is. So, that's one thing. It's not bad mounted on my desk, but I think I would have liked to have it on a wheel stand a little bit more. I have carpet that I'm on, so having the pedals on the carpet was somewhat problematic. I had to get something heavy to put behind it so they didn't get pushed out there, and even then there's a little bit of give with that carpet, so it's not an ideal situation there. But it makes it, I go back to that, it makes it a lot of fun. The experience with the wheel is fun to play around with. It also can be very frustrating. I'm not sure that the physics are quite right when using the wheel on this. It seems more difficult than it should based on my experience in the past with wheels on a PC game. I mean, things happen. It's like the physics changes completely. It's like all of a sudden you're driving with a different physics model than you were with the controller. Like things you can do with the controller, you can't do with the wheel. I was driving, cars that were just grippy Class D car that you couldn't spin out if you tried, and it would get some massive corner exit oversteer, overcorrect, even at the slightest move of the wheel, even on lower sensitivity settings that I had the wheel on. So it was curious like that, and it got a little better the more that I drove with it, but it was still there and it was still present, and it still happened every once in a while when it was frustrating. So what's going to be really interesting to see, and I'm going to do the same thing, we'll take a look at this with Project Cars and how it feels compared to Forza 5. I just kind of get the feeling they didn't spend a ton of time on balancing the wheel physics with the controller. Look, if you spend the same amount of time with the wheel as the controller, but I guarantee you're going to be faster with the controller. It's way more forgiving than the wheel is. And I can understand why more people have the controller. There isn't that many people using the wheel, but I would like to see them spend some more time on the physics of the wheel. I don't blame this particular wheel itself, at least I don't think that's the problem. Now, I haven't driven with the TX, and to be honest with you, if you're going to use a wheel and you're going to make that investment, I would probably think about saving up just a little bit more and going with the force feedback wheel, the Thrustmaster TX. I really, really miss that taste. You just can't feel what the car is doing very well. But as far as the way the wheel works and the the way it feels and everything, it felt great. It worked well. The pedals were fine. Ultimately, you want to get a setup where you've got a good shifter, a good set of pedals, and a good wheel. If that's the way you really want to really make that the whole game more enjoyable from that perspective. Now, I don't know if the Thrustmaster TX suffers from some of the same things that I found issue-wise on this, but overall, this is not something that I'm going to invest a whole lot of time in with Forza 5. I'm hoping that in Forza 6 there is a better, I won't say better wheel support, but more balancing on the wheel versus the controller. This is already not a full sim game, so to have it that difficult to use a wheel is a little curious. There's things you could kind of dumb down a little bit. Dumb down is probably not the right word, but there's some things you could simplify a little bit with the wheel and make it more balanced with the controller, so the player has more options. If I want to go in there and be competitive with the controller guys, then I got an opportunity. But as it sits, you would have to put a significant amount of time into the wheel to make yourself competitive. Now, it's fun, and it may be worth that. It's definitely fun in single player, and I drove quite a bit of it there. Just where it was a less stressful environment. I did do some multiplayer, but wasn't very successful with it. There was always one or two or three times throughout a race where just it got a little crazy, and it was really difficult to drive in traffic. It kind of drifts a lot in there, it felt like. So overall, though, it's a fun experience. I certainly, if you want to do it, go for it, have a good time. And I'm going to be really interested to see how this works with Project Cars, if that experience is the same, or if it's a little bit more forgiving. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.